Hey, what's up guys? My name is Sal, and this is another expedition log. Today, we're heading back down south to North Carolina to kick off the 2018 NC Chesapeake Dead Mall Tour. We begin this tour with a quaint vintage mall, preserved as it was in the 80s, existing today as a utopia for mallwalkers. I'd like to first thank all of you for helping me to reach 25,000 subscribers. That's a huge milestone, and I never thought that time would come, so thank you so much for getting this channel to that point. I'd also like to ask if you would please subscribe to my second channel, where I hope to do my live streams in the future. A link to that is down in the description below. So thanks again, everyone. Preserved as it was in the 80s, this mall today exists untouched and beautifully vintage as a functioning mausoleum. However, it has seen its share of financial trauma, and its future is uncertain. So come take a walk with me through the Becker Village Mall in Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. But first, a word from our sponsor, the infallible Roy Williams, host of the hit public access series, The Razor's Edge. So sit back, subscribe if you haven't yet, and enjoy.
Seasoned greetings from the Razor's Edge. Good evening. Once again, I'm Roy Williams, your host, and this evening we have a distinguished panel from the Dallas Peace Center.
We're going to go to a fashion show, and Carla, what do we have for fashion this evening?
Well, they look 16 models.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm the entertainment coordinator for this show, and this evening we have Put Your Hands Together.
Always loving spirit.
Ponder with technology here. Hopefully the cue will be given to the production room. These models are choreographed and they need their music.
They move to the rhythm of music,
Yes.
So we use the music in the studio. Loving spirit.
Okay, seasoned greetings from Razor's Edge.
During World War II, Sebi B. Jones served as a structural engineer, where he worked on several high-profile projects, including certain wartime structures that would later become the Raleigh-Durham Airport. In 1945, after leaving the war, he developed the Davidson and Jones Construction Company, along with the carpenter James Davidson, who took Jones under his wing as his assistant during the Great Depression, where he learned how to create a business from nothing. Jones temporarily retired from his company in 1965. He then served on the Raleigh City Council until 1969, when he was elected mayor of Raleigh, to serve until 1971. This marked the end of his political endeavors. However, his involvement in the construction company was still going strong. By 1972, the company had built the Crabtree Valley Mall, which is successful to this day. They were then planning to build another mall, and in 1976, they scouted a 31.564-acre tract of land in Roanoke Rapids that they intended to purchase. They bought the farmland for $7.7 million from Becker Farms Incorporated. After acquiring the land, Sebi formed the Becker Village Properties Partnership. At its inception, the partnership consisted of Sebi, Charles M. Edwards from Halifax County, D&J Roanoke Rapids Properties Incorporated, and the Carlisle Real Estate Limited Partnership with one sole corporate general partner, Carlisle IX Managers Inc., based out of Chicago. Over the next couple years, they acquired the necessary permits and negotiated easements with local businesses, and by 1979, construction had begun on their new mall. Then, on February 13, 1980, the official grand opening and formal dedication was celebrated for the 320,000 square foot Becker Village Mall. The mall had 16 inline stores and 2 original anchors, who were JCPenney and Leggett, at opening day. A Kmart would open 6 months later on August 7th as the 3rd anchor. The community loved this petite shopping hall, and it had incredible success initially. Throughout the 1980s, the mall did wonderfully. By 1987, the partnership welcomed the Brookhill Group as general partner. Brookhill is located in the heart of New York City, right on Madison Ave. When they came on board, they decided to take out a mortgage on the property and did just that. They took out a mortgage for the amount of $9,975,000 from the American Savings Bank, also in New York City. At this point, the mall was nearing 100% occupancy, with a healthy anchor set, all of whom had 20-year leases, aside from Kmart, who held a 25-year lease. I also saw indications throughout my research that Becker Village received a renovation in 1991. However, I couldn't find anything concrete. So if you're from this area and you have knowledge of the renovation, please do leave a comment down below or hop into the official Deb Malls of Discord server so we can chat about it. A link to the Discord is in the description below. In 1992, 349 years after his condemnation for spreading the idea that the tides of the sea were evidence for the motion of the Earth, and for spreading the idea of heliocentrism, which is the model showing the Earth to revolve around the sun, which was also an idea that many weren't fond of in the 1600s. In 1992, Galileo was pardoned by Pope John Paul II, despite Mr. Galilei being kept under house arrest until his death in 1642. Space rules, and the Earth isn't flat. Don't doubt that. It was also in 1992 that a shipping vessel was lost at sea, and said vessel contained 28,000 rubber duckies. These ducks are still being found around the world to this day. In 1992, the first text message was sent, which said, "Merry Christmas." It was sent from a PC since cell phones had no sort of data entry at that point. And also in 1992, despite the wonder that Wayne's World and Lethal Weapon 3 brought to the cinema that year, it wasn't enough to keep dozens of banks from collapsing. In 1992, 59 banks went insolvent in the United States, which caused the FDIC to intervene to handle the failed banks' assets. One of these failed banks was the American Savings Bank of New York, which held the note for the Becker Village Mall. The last record of the original Becker Village Properties partnership, which included Sebi Jones, Brookhill and Company, the last record of them owning the mall was in 1992. This document showed an intent that the partners would pay back the nearly $10 million mortgage. However, there's nothing past that showing that they actually paid that bill. In 1997, Belk bought out Leggett, thereby converting the anchor into a Belk. After the turn of the millennium, more closures were announced for Kmart, and the Becker Village Mall location closed in 2002. By 2006, the Belk location had also closed, leaving JCPenney as the sole remaining anchor. Between 1992 and 2007, the mall was passed from receiver to receiver, bank to bank, special servicer to special servicer, being managed and leased by various companies. The next mention of ownership after 1992 occurs in the Halifax County Register of Deeds on October 29, 2007. A new partnership was formed between two families, the White family and the Heaton family. Reginald Lawrence White, William White, and Paul W. Heaton. They created the new holding company Becker Pearl-Mix LLC and purchased the mall for $2.113 million. Wells Fargo held the note for Becker Village Mall by means of centerline servicing. You can also see a string of several banks through which the mall's note changed hands in the time before this sale. And I believe one of the main reasons this mall failed is because it was passed from bank to bank for 15 years, and management failed to keep the mall occupied while it was being thrown around in receivership, because in that time nobody really cared about the mall because it was a note to a mortgage that nobody wanted.
Carpooling it up
Makes good sense.
Kentucky Fried Chicken for dinner?
Makes even better sense.
Why's that?
Because I know the Colonel serves a good meal. A real meal. Fresh quality chicken. And what's more, they love it.
Kentucky Fried Chicken! Kentucky Fried
Boy, do they love it.
It's so nice, nice to be so good about a meal, so good about Kentucky Fried Chicken.
These adorable old ladies are a pretty common sight at the Becker Village Mall. Mallwalkers love this place, and there was a ton of them there that day. And there was also a lot of people in the shady casino, which I'll mention shortly. Bless their hearts. The mall was refinanced and adjusted over the next few years, and in 2014, Purnachandar Sirakanda displayed an interest to buy the mall. Purnachandar is a pediatrician from Paramus, New Jersey, and he then bought the mall for $2.2 million. In 2016, Purnachandar doubled down on the mall's social media campaign. He and his company tried like hell to become known on the internet and to get publicity for this mall. They created the mall's Twitter account on June 4th, 2016 with the handle @BeckerVillage and a first tweet, quote, "Welcome to first official account," close quote. That same day, they tweeted a shout out to National Donut Day with the hashtag Becker Village Mall. And if you search for that hashtag, it'll bring up a total of 5 other tweets, including one of my own that I tweeted about this mall a couple of months ago. 1 month later, on July 9th, they tweeted, quote, "Hey, sorry for have not been posting lately," close quote. By July 20th, 2016, they transmitted their 4th and final tweet, which was, quote, "Deleting account," close quote. They never deleted their account. It's actually still up. And I urge all of you to flood their inbox with likes and follows. And while you're on Twitter, hit me up too. A link for both mine and the old Becker Village Twitter accounts is in the description below. So we're about to enter the shady casino. And this place was crazy. The minute I went in, everybody's eyes were on me. And there were people smoking, smashing buttons all over the place. And it reminded me of a place that I was in, the Czech Republic. I stayed at a hotel called Hotel Duo. There was a casino in the basement of this hotel, which was almost identical to the layout of this place. As a matter of fact, most shady casinos were in hotels in Prague, in the Czech Republic, but this place reminded me of that. And it's just surreal. And it's open 24 hours a day, which is also crazy. More on this place in a second. By 2017, JCPenney was closed, and the mall was left with just a few inline tenants, including a Veterans Memorial and that shady casino, where people smoke and gamble 24 hours a day, literally. Yes, it is open for 24 hours a day. The mall would remain silent for a couple of years, but on January 16th, 2019, at around 1 o'clock in the morning, a man wearing a bright fluorescent yellow jacket and what looks to be a Sherlock Holmes hat, like the detectives wear, he entered the mall and proceeded to rob the Shady Casino. The Shady Casino is called Goldmine Sweepstakes Cafe. He acquired an undisclosed amount of money in a sack and left through the Becker Drive side of the mall. They're still trying to find him today, and a link to that news article is also in the description below. Shortly after the robbery, the mall was placed on an auction block with a starting bid of $450,000. There were only a few bids, and the winning bid came in at $1.5 million. Lancaster Holdings LLC acquired the mall for $1.5 million. And in a few statements, they made it known that the mall would be ideal for warehouse space for Walmart and other storage needs. And it sounds like they really don't have a plan to bring retail back into this space, or even a plan to make some sort of community effort for the mall. Do you see that flashing light? Flashing light in there is the alarm for this JCPenney. If you go back and watch the video that Ace's Adventures did on this mall, that alarm was still going on, and I'm pretty sure it's been on since then, and probably before then, and it's probably going on today too. We'll see what comes of this wonderful little Mallwalkers utopia in the coming years. And until then, I urge you to go see the Becker Village Mall while you can. It does seem to be open 24 hours a day, but I would use precaution and visit during normal business hours, and probably avoid the Shady Casino. I'd like to thank all of you for watching this video, and I'd like to once again thank all of my subscribers for helping me to reach over 25,000 subs. I'd also like to thank all of my patrons who have directly contributed to helping me pay for these expeditions, of which there are many more to come. And I'd also like to thank the Dead Malls of Discord family, all of whom are a great bunch of people, and I implore you to join the Dead Malls of Discord, and it's down in the description below. And if you'd like to follow my expeditions live, I post pretty frequently on Instagram and Twitter, so make sure you're following me there. And lastly, make sure you're following my second YouTube channel, which is Quite Studios. And as soon as we get to 1,000 subscribers on that, I'll begin live streaming, and you'll get behind the scenes videos, you'll get raw cuts, you'll get some commentary, and you'll get some random videos also that I'll post there. So make sure you're following that. Thanks again, everybody. Take care and have a fantastic day. Nico.
Okay, cut.